Hey guys, welcome back to Puck Talk. For today's episode, we will be discussing the Bo Horvat trade and overall discuss about the Canucks' current future moves and what they can do to improve their team. I'm Ali. I'm here with Sahil and Marcus, and today let's get right into it. So guys, let's start off with the Horvat trade. So it was a really big trade, and one that shocked me. I was doing some work on my laptop, and I got a, I got a Twitter notification that Horvat's been traded, and my first initial thought was that it was kind of underwhelming.
I 100% agree with you. I expected Bo would get the Canucks would get back at least a little bit more for Bo, considering the breakout season he's currently having. And also the fact that we heard other rumors. We heard that his options were like Boston, Colorado, and other different teams. I heard no news about the Rangers talks at all, or like not Rangers, Islanders, sorry.
I think they
Yeah,
rushed it. I was surprised by how early the trade was too. Like I was expecting it closer to a deadline. It kind of caught me off guard.
actually, I think the Islanders were interested earlier that day in Horvat, and the trade was done like by 3 p.m. Pacific, like 6 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Is
I guess Alvin saw that Ratu was a prospect he couldn't turn down because that was quite quick. And I heard that Boston, we had like they had Lysell on the table, and Colorado even like they could have acquired Gerard from there, who's already a good defenseman. So
yeah.
I mean, it's an okay package. I mean, certainly looking at Horvat's previous production, it's not a bad package for him in his breakout year. But like, I was a bit disappointed by how much they got back. I think they could have gotten another one or two assets in from someone else if they
This
tried.
the thing about this trade that I want to point out is that in my opinion, I think the Canucks long term are is gonna win this trade. However, it's really worrying the fact that out of everything that we got, it's not a defenseman or like
Yep.
anything that is close to like
Yeah.
something that can help us on the defensive end, which we severely need.
Actually, this first round, this draft class is pretty loaded on forwards and defensemen, and I don't think the Islanders will make the playoffs. And this pick will be quite good. And you can't lose with the pick. I mean, the pick is really like the deciding X factor here. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
either you go get a good player with that pick, or like you bust. And that's really like the main deciding piece. Like Ratu can be good, but and Beauvillier is just a salary piece who's been struggling lately. I mean, I don't think we really need to talk about it that much, but yeah, that pick is what decides this trade.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think the pick was the difference maker. Like if you traded him to like a team like Colorado or Boston, you get like a 25th to 31st level pick, right? This one you have a chance of it being 14th or something.
It
But
has a
it is
chance of being top 14.
yeah, but like this
Yeah,
protected then, but it could be 15 or 16, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So just for some context, guys, the pick is top 12 protected, and if it is in the top 12, it moves over to 2024, and it's completely unprotected.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was the X factor then. They just took the chance. But like I think they could have called the shots with Horvat. I think they could have waited till the deadline and somebody would have overpaid.
That's how I see
See,
it too. Like
see the thing. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
like the whole entire thing for like Horvat being traded to the Rangers in general. The Rangers aren't even like guaranteed to have Horvat for next year. His contract is still expiring. So overall, Islanders could really get bummed out of this whole entire ordeal if Horvat ends up just not re-signing with them in general.
See, the thing is, I don't think Lou would have made the trade if he didn't have something in place. Like Lou is not a great GM, but he's really frugal. Frugal in a sense that he won't do something unless it's guaranteed to stay with him. And I think the Islanders are prepared to pay that price tag, like 8.5 million for 8 years. And that could be a really big risk for them because they're already an aging team. Horvat is what, 27 right now, right?
Yeah,
27,
exactly.
28. So they're gonna are they really gonna give? I mean, they already gave up so many assets for him. Like they have to extend him now, but like, is it really like, was he really the best move for them? Is my
Exactly. Like I don't see a way that Islanders actually Islanders benefited from this in as of right now because like long term they're not like I said they're not guaranteed to keep Horvat, but at the same time it's like their team has also been not well in place for this kind of trade, in my opinion.
I don't think they actually I don't think Islanders actually solved their problem. They need like an offensive play driver, right? Horvat isn't that. He needs
No.
somebody to pass to him for instead. Like they only have Barzell as the offensive play driver. If they got someone like Kane at the deadline instead, I think that would have been better. I don't think Horvat was the piece they needed.
But I feel like Kane would have cost them a lot more
Yeah.
than Horvat did. And I
Mm.
think Islanders should have just known their place where they are right now and should have sold. Because,
Oh,
I mean, like going for these big guns won't really solve anything unless you have a solid team. And Horvat, he can score, but like, really, like, do you really want that right now? Especially in such a stacked draft class where you could have loaded up for future.
Horvat isn't a goal scorer. I don't think he's good this season, but I don't think he's somebody that you want to build your offense
The
around.
strength of Horvat is that he's just really good at attacking the net.
Yeah,
Like
it's
See, the
that's
thing
his
is,
primary good thing about it, as well as the fact that he actually does have the heart and drive to like help out the defenders when the puck's going back.
See the thing is Barzell hasn't played with a player like Horvat in a really long time. Like the last time he had someone was Tavares, and Barzell had his best year of his career by far that year. So I
Mhm.
think maybe the Islanders are hoping that like Horvat brings out the best in Barzell too, because Barzell, like he had a pretty rough start to the season, only assists. And now I mean their offense is a very struggling core right now, and I think they want to break that up and like add some like dynamic offense to it. So I think while it doesn't completely make sense for the team, I can see why they did that.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
who do we think won the trade overall? If you had to decide on a
the
winner,
Vancouver Canucks,
you
Yeah,
think they
without a
won?
doubt. Like
because yeah,
they got the trade. They got the trade and they got a pick. They got a prospect and they also get a player in return, not on the same caliber as Horvat's level, but still just another forward that they brought in.
yeah,
While Islanders got Horvat and they're not guaranteed to keep Horvat.
I think that was a weird trade for both teams, to be honest. I don't think it made sense for either team at the moment. Like
I
Vancouver could
mean,
have held off, and like Islanders, I don't think this was the season to go for Horvat.
like if the Islanders really wanted like to go, I mean their window has closed. Like like in 2021, I believe was their last like chance to actually compete, and since then they've been mediocre, and their players have gotten older, obviously. And I think yeah, it was a weird trade for both teams, but the Islanders have a lot more to lose from this trade than the Canucks do.
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah. So I think we kind of agree Canucks won the trade by a
Yeah,
bit, I guess. And who do we think the new captain of the Vancouver Canucks is going to be now?
It's gonna
easily
be
better be
Pedersen. It's gonna be
Pedersen. Like
Petty.
no debate, no debate.
Like
Like
Pedersen, easily?
they basic he's basically the unofficial captain right now. It's basically been hinted at by like different social media members, different players on the Canucks' demeanor towards him, because like there's no one else that can step up to that role right now because Petty has such a presence throughout like the Canucks fan base right now, especially considering the fact that he actually won an event at the All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
He is like Mr. Canuck right now.
See, the thing is, I think he should be captain, but I don't think they should name it. They give it to him until his contract expires and use that as a chip to get him to resign.
Mm,
Be- because right now, like we're still uncertain about his future as a Canuck. So I think they should hold off for now and give him that captaincy if he chooses to resign with the Canucks. Because otherwise, like you're gonna name him captain and it's another Kachuk situation. Then what are you gonna do about it? Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
tough.
I think even if you do name him captain before the contract expires, you don't sign him this. You don't name him this year. You don't want him to deal with the dumpster fire this year. You name like 3 assistant captains for this season.
Yeah, exactly.
you don't want to give it to him right away, but like we just know that he's gonna be the next C.
Yeah.
He is probably the Canucks' only option
JT
right now.
Miller.
No,
If
no,
we
no, no.
name JT Miller C, that's it. I refuse to cheer for this team ever again.
See, the thing is, I think that JT Miller hate is kind of unjustified. Bo Horvat's getting like having an insane year, while JT Miller might be kind of like a, a an unpleasant person to be around. He's still putting up decent amounts of points, and for an 8 million players, like being like 3 or 4 points off of point per game is not bad at all. He's putting up those offensive numbers. He's kind of lazy defensively, but like that's what happens with a lot of forwards. I think it's just like Miller is not like your model captain, but like
Yeah.
I could still see him as a contributing forward, and I think the Miller hate is kind of unjustified because he's putting up results. He's scoring.
He's just a scapegoat, just like
Yeah,
Tyler Myers, you know?
I mean Tyler Myers is genuinely bad though. Like he
Yeah,
can't play.
like the reason why the JT Miller hate is just like more like noticeable is just because of the fact that like he's in the media more. He's getting constantly interviewed more. He's saying these random things that like remember the thing where he said my lack of production is a result is like a result of my like me staying true to the game or something like that, which
Like he's playing defense. Like he claimed to be playing defense,
he
but
claimed to be putting it all out there when there are clips where it's just not there at all.
yeah, like I mean, I think outside of being a bit like disconnected from reality, I don't think he's really done much wrong, and it's just magnified by the fact that they're losing Bo Horvat because of that contract, and that's why the hate has like grown to this like humongous level.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I will agree with what you're saying. I am also like I'm not a fan of JT Miller this season because of like all the things he said, all the things he's done towards this season. And like if you ever see like reactions to the Canucks bench, they sometimes like poke fun at JT's antics as well. But it's like it's just all around that whole entire team's like currently in just this messy slob of a situation.
We
Yeah,
always seem to get sidetracked to JT Miller every time we talk about the
Well,
Canucks.
it's because of the fact that it's a very easy topic to talk about.
It's very easy to make fun of him. But
yeah. JT Miller is like the Canucks pariah, and like you can't talk about the Canucks without talking about JT Miller,
yeah,
especially at this point in time.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so now okay, we've all heard the Besser and Demko rumors. So do we think the Canucks will actually pull the trigger on any of them?
I personally hate the Demko talks
Yeah,
because of the fact that like if we move Demko, goalies are not easy to come by. They really aren't. Demko is in my opinion, Demko is a once in a generational talent that we could have possibly gotten. And moving a goalie's and trying to gain back a good goalie is going to be really challenging for the Canucks.
Yeah, I think Besser is gone by the deadline. Like
Yeah,
he has no future with this team. I cannot see him staying here, especially with his age. And I don't hate the idea of Demko being traded. You just need to get a really large package for him. Like you need to
yeah.
you need to stock up on like assets if you actually do trade him. But because if you trade him for pennies, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. You don't want that.
You
Like
can't give away a generational goalie talent just for like a really small package. You have to like blow my mind with that trade in order for like it to make sense in my head that why we gave
yeah,
up
like
Demko.
I mean, like if we did trade Demko, like LA, I heard was interested. Like we would want Brant Clark, Quinton Byfield, one of those two, a couple of first round picks, and like another prospect for that to
Exactly.
even like be fathomable because like he's a really good player. He's
He
signed 5 million like for 4 or 3 more years, so like there's no reason why you
fan
shouldn't.
favorite, a really good goaltender at his peak, and
I think
is
I
just
think he's
oh
better than he shows on the Canucks. Like
yeah,
he's way
Yeah,
better.
exactly. He's just had this season, especially he's just had a byproduct of terrible defense as well, and also a couple unlucky bounces, sure, but still, it's kind of like it's kind of annoying on how like I'm hearing these Demko rumors right now when it's not the best time to be thinking about it, in my personal
honestly,
opinion.
honestly though, like I think like the Canucks problem stemmed back to the offseason. Like they threw money at Mikheyev, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't see like he's a good player, but like I feel like they could have used their money management skills to get an actual defenseman. And like I heard Severson was on the block on the offseason as well. So like it's not like there weren't options. Like the Canucks management just kind of bungled themselves there.
Exactly.
I think Canucks have too many wingers playing like the same role. You know, Besser, Kuzmenko, Mikheyev, Garland, they all play essentially the same role, you know?
Garland and Besser have been abysmal this season. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garland has really fallen off a cliff, and that OEL trade is looking really, really rough right now
Yeah.
because of
Like
out there.
the strengths that we see from Garland this season so far is that he's the only consistent player that gets the puck into the offensive zone. However, the puck only stays in that offensive zone for 5 seconds.
It's
Like that's the
because
only thing that you'll see from Connor Garland this season.
Connor Garland lacks finishing ability, and that's been his problem ever since like he started out. He can fit anywhere in the lineup, but you have to have finishing players on his line for him to be successful because he can dig the puck out, but he can't score.
Yeah.
A big thing that we should talk about with this Horvat trade is how much it honestly does weaken the Canucks offense.
I think it's good. Like I hope the Canucks offense is terrible. I want them to get Bedard or at
Yeah.
least Pop, at least a good pick.
It's just like I don't know. I just don't know how I feel like because like who's our second line center now? Like that's a huge downgrade.
I think Miller slides in there, doesn't he?
Miller
don't-
plays wing on Horvat's line, so
Yeah, but I think you'd have to put him there now. Like who else could you put there?
I mean, I think signing Kuzmenko was a pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good
Kuzmenko. That I don't know how we did that. I am
Yeah.
honestly shocked that we got him back.
I don't know how you convinced him to stay in this dumpster fire. I don't know why
He
he
must
resigned.
really like Pedersen, man. He must really like Mikheyev.
I
too.
mean, I would love to play with Teddy. Don't get me wrong, but like to choose for Kuz to choose to stay in this team, it kind of baffles me. But at the same time, I am happy that he's staying because he has been like one of the three pieces that actually have shined through this Canucks team.
Yeah, I mean him, Pedersen, Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes should have been an all-star, by the way.
Fair,
He,
actually, that's really fair. He's been starting to perform much higher, and
yeah.
he's like an assist god right now.
Otherwise, yeah. This Canucks team is quite doomed to fail unless they make the right moves. This deadline is a huge testament to where this team is going in the future.
Yeah, I think if they don't move Besser or Demko, then I think you imagine that management still has hopes that they're a contending team. They have to truly like give up right now at this deadline. They have to truly rebuild.
Also, this Canucks team really reminds me of the Buffalo Sabres. Like, you guys remember that report came out where Buffalo wasn't letting their players heal or whatever? Like, Lehner said he was rushed back from his injuries when he was in
Oh
Buffalo.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
these talks. Yeah.
and now like Tanner Pearson, in fact, like this injury that Tanner Pearson went through was supposed to keep him out for like what, a month, and now he's done for the season from some infection, and that really makes you wonder like what's going on behind
What's
closed
going
doors.
on? Like, how bad is like behind the doors of the Canucks? Like, not even
Yeah.
not even their medical staff can do something right either.
Yeah. Like, what is Aquilini doing? Like, what is he doing to address these issues? Because, yeah, I don't know what this team can do. If they get a bad reputation, nobody's gonna want to come here.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
city's just nice, you know? The city attracts people, but the team doesn't.
Yeah,
It's really hard right now for people to support the Canucks just because of the fact that it's like, what do we do from here? All we have is as like a Canucks fan myself, I just think, what does this team have going for them? It realistically only has the prospect of we have Petty, we have Quinn Hughes, and we kept Koo. But like I don't see a realistic future where we get anywhere close to like the second round of playoffs for the next 10 years.
Okay, I
not
think that's
unless
an exaggeration. I
That's an
think it's more
exaggeration, but that's just how I genuinely feel. Like
I think it's more like 3 years.
I
I
mean
don't
like
see
the
like anything
Canucks
too
problem
promising.
is let's see the Canucks problem is that they don't have a decor. I mean, once Tyler Myers is gone, you have 6 million right there. You have to use that smartly. Like there's no option. You
You
can waste
need
that
to
money.
get a defenseman.
Yeah, you need to get a good defenseman with that money because if you waste it, like this is like Myers was just like a taste of what a bad defenseman can do. OEL is like the full course meal because he is getting paid $8 million to be mid.
Yeah. They have like 14 million tied up between them.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's like you're paying bottom six D no, I mean like bottom pairing demon 14 million. And you expect
and
your team to do good.
OEL he would be good if he got paid 3 million. He's getting paid 8 million to put up with like what? How much does he have? 19 points and terrible
Yeah.
defensive metrics.
Like OEL and Myers just in general have just shown that they should not be getting paid this much. And honestly, the moment they leave the Canucks, the exact when they lead the Canucks, they had to go for those defensemen so badly because this season especially we've been shown that our defense is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
I
a kid defenseman.
I think we covered a lot of Canucks topics. Do you guys have any last thoughts before we end it off? Or
Not at the moment. I just my final thoughts are, Canucks rebuild, blow it up before it's too late.
yeah,
Just think about that.
yeah,
I personally just want to say I want to thank my favorite player, Bo Horvat, for sticking with this team for this long. It's sad to see him go, and I hope he has a good future ahead of him.
Yeah. Good luck to Bo Horvat.
yeah. I
And
don't think any.
thank
I don't think fans have any hard feelings for him.
He did.
I miss him.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
anyways, guys,
Yeah.
thank you so much for watching.
Peace out, guys.